Hello everyone and welcome to RJC Models, and in this episode I'll be doing part 5 of the Italeri 1/9 scale Manx Norton. What we're doing in this episode is I'll be showing you how to build the front forks and do the front end there, or the forks we've got in the front. We're actually coming to quite an end to this one now. I'm very excited to see this one up and finished. I will be doing a video on the diorama I've got in mind, because what I'm going to be doing is, when it's finished, the bike will be at an angle, going around a corner around the Isle of Man. So stay tuned once this one's finished, because it's not actually, the bike will be finished, but it won't be finished. So stay tuned when the bike's finished, because we will be doing a follow-on to that, which will be the diorama. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just adjust the camera, put it down, and we'll be getting on with that. Okay, so here we go. The assembly of the front forks is actually fairly straightforward. So what we're doing there is we're just going to cut the top of the suspension arms off of the sprues just there, and it actually calls for you to drill a hole in the bottom of the shock, so you can sink a small tiny flathead screw in there. So that holds your spring on, because I'm going to try and force it, but the springs do actually, there we go, they do actually go up and down. So you've actually got that movement on the front end. What I'm going to do is, obviously, because like I said in the intro, this will be on a dio, so it will probably be halfway around the corner. So I'm going to put a little bit of weight on that side and take a little bit off this side, so it looks like it's going around the corner. Just put the bike, so when you go around the corner on a bike, one spring will soften because you're putting the weight on that side. One spring will soften and the other one will get stiffer, because obviously you're putting the pressure as you go around the corner. So what we've got there is the suspension arm, the top end of the suspension arm there. And what we're going to do now is grab the next part, which is the shock absorber. So there's an actual spring that I'll show you guys in a second that sits in this part here. So let's just cut that off of there. Right. Here we go. So that's that cut off of there. I'm just going to give it a quick clean up with a sanding sponge. There we go. So it's just taking the sharp edges off there. It's fairly straightforward. Letting the sponge do all the work, because the sponge, obviously, as you can see, is quite soft and springy. So I'm not actually putting any pressure. I'm just letting the sponge conform to the shape of the part there, so you're not losing that shape. Right, so I'm just taking that off of there. There we go. So it's nice and flush. Right, and then the next thing we're going to do is find the spring. So this is the springs I was telling you about. You actually do get a. We're trying to do this without taking the spring out. Without taking the screw out even, because there's a little tiny screw left in this bag here, which will be going on there in a second. So the way it goes about is that this is the top of the suspension arm, and the spring sits over the suspension arm like that. So you've now got, oops, let me just, there we go. So you've now, oops, there we go. So you've now got the spring being held in by these two little brackets just there. And then what you do is you slide that over there, something a bit like that. I'm just checking on, yep, so sorry, it's the other way around. So it goes, slide it on there like that, and now you've now got that on there. So the spring sits in there. Let me just, there we go, take that off of there, put that in there, so the spring sits in the that part there, so you've got your spring movement. And then what I'm going to do is push that through. Oh, sorry, no, it does go that way. So the flat end to the top, spring goes on like that, flat end to the top. I've actually done this the wrong way around again, I'm sorry. So flat end like that, spring goes inside there, and then you'll get the bottom of the front forks, which is just here, just there. What we need to do is just cut that off the sprue. And we've got a little bit of drilling to do, because on this bit here, let me just find the hole that you need to drill. Just there, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up. So just there, you've got a little hole that just needs to be drilled out for the screw to go in. So I'm just going to quickly buzz a hole in there. So the beauty with this is you don't want to go too fast, you don't want to go too slow, because what you'll find if you're drilling a hole like this is that if you go too fast, then the plastic will heat up and you'll just get the drill bit melt onto the part. But you just want a nice even pressure, nice and slow, getting it on there. So this plastic is actually quite tough, so you do have to you have to put a little bit of force on, not a great deal. It's just winding its way on, checking where you're at, and then clearing your nib again. Because the nib on these, because they're only tiny little drill bits, the nib do get very very blocked. So clear your nib and then just carry on going. So there we go. Till you hear your small click and it goes through, then you know you're in. Then we'll bring back that little bag with the screw in it. So I'm getting mixed up with sprue and screw here, right? Right, now I'll find my small screwdriver. I've got just off the side here. I've just got a small flathead screwdriver. Just that was a little bit too big. Also, apologise for my chair squeaking, guys. I do need to get a new chair because we are a bit squeaky. I might just get a bit of oil on it for now, though. There we go. So here we go. Just got the screwdriver just to go on there. And what you want to do is you want to put this on there, something. And this, as you can see, there's a little hole along sort of. Let me just put what I did. I poke my screwdriver for it so you can see. Just there is a small hole. So what you want to do is you want to put the bottom of the shock arm onto there, line this hole up with the hole you've just made in the bottom of the shock arm, and then push your screw through. So it'll just be something a bit like this. So I know you guys probably can't see very well, but pushing the spring in, he says, I just need to make that hole a little bit wider. There we go. So spring goes in there, like that. Top of the shock goes in, and I see what I've done there. I've not actually taken all of that off, so I'm just going to grab a knife. So what I've got there is got a little bit of a nub. So I'm just going to grab this because I'm not really too bothered about the top half of the spring here getting a little bit of the chrome coming off, because you're not actually going to be able to see it. So I'm just going to knock that nub off a bit like that. He's lost his knife. I've had a bit of a tidy up here on the workbench, so do excuse me when I'm trying to fumble around, trying to find my knife. There it is. So I'm just going to take that knob off, because obviously that's what's stopping it from going in. Take that knob off a little bit like that, so it's nice and smooth. Then, as I said before, get that in there like that. Pushing it on a little bit, something like that. So this is the tricky part, because you've now got to find the hole to line it up with the hole you've just made in the spring side. I'm going to come back through and then just do it very, very gently. I know you guys can't actually see this, but there we go. Let's come through there like that. You've now got your spring in there. Pop the little screw on there like that. Oops. It's probably best to do this when the spring's laying down. Get your little screwdriver and then just screw it into onto the part of the front fork. But what I'm going to do is, because this is a bit fiddly, I'm going to go away and then come back once I've finished with the screw. Okay, there we go. So what I've done is now I've gone away and I've put the front forks together and the front mudguard, and it's coming together very well, very nicely, if I say so myself. It looks really, really nice. So the next step is to be doing all the detail on the top of the top yoke here. So that would be the the bolts for the front forks, the rev counter at the top here, and also the this is like a fly bolt that goes on the top of the forks here. So what I'm going to do is I'll go away and do it off, because it looks very, very fiddly. I'll go off, do that off screen, and then I'll come back to you guys. Right, so what I've done now is I've gone away and I've done the front end there, so the front end's all done now. I've got some of the piping on, and I've attached a lot of the piping from the engine round onto the handlebars. I've even cut out some rubber parts there for, as you can see, on the handlebars for the twist grips, that sort of stuff, on the front of the handlebars there. So this is what you'd be holding on to, like your handlebars, your rubbers, that sort of thing, your grips. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and then I'm going to show you doing the tank. So we're pushing quite through with this one. I'll do this one on camera. So what we've got here is the petrol tank just there. There we go. So with the petrol tank, what you get is a nice, massive, nice round petrol fuel cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that off of there a little bit like that, and then the same on the back there like that. So we've got quite a nice filler cap just there. That's going to look quite nice, make it pop out really nicely here. I'm just going to take a knife to the little nubs there, a bit like that, and like that. There we go. Oh, okay. There we go. So that's all the nubs taken off there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that onto there like that. I'm not going to bother with any oops. There we go. With any glue in this one, I'm just going to pop a bit of super glue in there and pop it on. So that goes on backwards. What I'm going to do is also, because where I've painted the tank, the little hole where the filler cap goes on is just filled in. So what I'm going to do is just take my knife a little minute and just spin it around in there, just taking the edge off, like that. And then we're going to pop a bit of super glue, just a tiny bit on there like that. Oops. There we go. Bit like that. Okay, I'm just going to pop the filler cap on a little bit. It's a bit of a tight fit, this one, obviously where I've had the paint on there. There we go. So that's on there nicely. So I've got a nice filler cap. Just line it up properly. Push it on there. There we go. So that's the filler cap on there. Right, so what I've done there is we've got the fuel cap on there, and a few of the fuel lines and the fuel tap on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away, because the piping is actually quite fiddly. I'm going to go away and put the piping on, that sort of stuff, and also I'm going to make the strap that's going to go across the middle of the petrol tank there, that's going to hold it all in place. So what I'll do is I'll go away, sort that out, come back, and we'll start on the front wheel and the final bits of assembly. So we're going to do this, and then I'll come back again. So what I went ahead and did, and I went ahead and made the tank strap. So I got the tank strap on there. Like I said, what I did was I got a bit of shoelace, some old shoelace, and let me just get a piece of it. Is there any something? Here we go. So I just got a piece of old shoelace. As you can see, I cut it off. Frayed the edges. Well, so I've got rid of the fraying around the edges. There are still a little bit, but because this is actually going to have a rider on it, so it's not really going to notice too much. So yeah, I got rid of the fraying. Glued the tank on, so the tank's now glued on. Just test fitted the front number plate, so that's where the number on the front will go, and there's going to be a clear screen on there. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and there we go. So we've got the nice bit of movement there for the front end, and I've piped a lot of the stuff up, so it's all piped in. The only thing I've got to do now is to pipe the brakes and that sort of thing on the front there. But what I'll do is I'll do that off screen because it is a little bit fiddly. But what I do want to show you is building the front wheel with the front wheel assembly. So it's the air ducts for the front brakes and the piping system that will go to it. So what it calls for with this kit is for this one, sorry, is, oops, let me just get rid of that. There we go. So these are the bits here that go on the front wheel. So here I've got my front wheel here. So what I'm going to do is get part number 60, which is this one just there. So I'm just going to take this part a second off the sprue, get it as close as I can to the part. So I haven't got so much nub cleanup that I have to do. Get it in nice and tight. Okay, just gonna, there's a bit of a nub there, so I'm just going to take that last bit off. So I'm just going to take my sanding stick and just get rid of the last bits of nubbing. There's not a whole lot left, but that's coming away nicely. Okay, we have got what looks like an ejector pin there as well, so I'll take that off with the knife. So I'll take that off and clean it up. There we go, take that off of there. Bit of clean up and then we're away. So what it calls for now, because these bikes were, I know the old 60s bikes were drum braked. They were vented drum brakes. So what I've got here, just here, are the vents for the drum brake. So let's cut that off of there. So we want 64, which is that one just there. Cut that off there like that. Take the knobs off. A bit like that. There we go. Nice clean nub removal. Now just hit that with a sponge a minute. Just get it nice and flush. What I'll do is I'll show you one side and then I'll go away and do the other side, just so you aren't watching this forever. And what it looks like, just on there, I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but just here where my finger is, like the actual vent, so this will sit over the top like that, I believe. So sit like that, and then it will all go together. So, actually, no, sorry, tell it goes that way, like that. So it goes on like that, and there's your vent for your drum brake. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of super glue just to go around the edges. Because I'm going to super glue this, it saves a little bit more work. So I'm just going to pop that on there like that. Pop the vent on a bit like that. Oops, preferably the right way. Pop the vent on like that. There we go. So there's your vent on. So what it's actually doing is, as the bike's travelling along forwards, for those that don't know, the air will travel through this little duct into the drum brake that sits on the bike like that, and it cools the drum brake down, so you're not getting your brakes overheating. And then over the top of this one, oops, is we have the lever arms. 91. There it is, just there. There's the lever arm. Take that off there. That off there. And that one off of there. Okay. So pop that to the side a second. Do a bit of clean up. There we go. There we go. Because I've got quite a new blade in this Swan Morton, I don't actually need to clean up as much as I have been with the sanders, because this is fairly new. And I can take it off quite simply like that. Oops, so daisy. There we go. Excuse me. So we've got some little locating tabs there. So this will actually sit up like that, and that will go on there like so. There we go, like that. There we go. And there's your front drum brake assembly ready to go. So I'm just going to dab a bit of super glue. So I'm just doing the super. Usually I would use the extra thin, but just for a bit of quickness, I'm just using a dab of super glue on a cocktail stick or a toothpick, depending on what part of the world you come from. So there we go. Just pop that on there like that. There you go, and there's your drum brake all ready to go on to the other side. Now I haven't got a lot of this kit left to do, so it's just installing the front wheel and putting the number plates on the side. So what I'll do is I'll go away, do that, come back, and we'll do the final reveal of this build. Well, actually, I've got to do the speedo up here on the top there. Well, so the rev counter. Oh no, sorry, I was right the first time. The rev count, the speedo, and the screen. So I'll go away, do that, come back, and then we shall go for a reveal. Okay. Okay, so here she is, all finished, and this has been one of the best. I say one of the best kits. It's been a absolutely brilliant kit. A few little niggles here and there, but nothing major to write home about. I know a lot of people have had. I know a few people that have had trouble with this kit, but I absolutely adore it. It has come out absolutely beautifully, and I am so pleased with it. So the detail is not overly detailed, but it is absolutely beautiful for the detail that is there. Obviously, the only little detail that I did add was the tank strap, which kind of made it pop a little bit, and I do like the way it's come out. So I am doing a dio with this one. It's going to be at an angle. It'll be round at an angle with a rider on it. So the bit of luck that will come out really well. So I'll just show. I'll give you an idea. Let's just put her on the stand there. There you go. A true calf racer. So what I've got is one of these little guys, and I'm going to experiment with making a rider figure for her. So, oops, let me just get it sat down properly. There we go. So it's going to be a bit. Oh, hang on. There we go. Sorry, guys. I've not yet put them on there. This is the first time. So there we go. This will be the figure on there. So as I said, guys, keep your eyes out for that part, because that's going to be. I've never built a figure scratch build before, so it'll be new for me. And what I'll do is as I'm doing it, you guys can come and learn with me. This little guy was only about £1, £2, something like that. £1, £2, something like that, from a local shop here in Essex. But I'm actually going to customise this to be my own rider with Jeff Duke. So what we'll be doing is, let me take her off the stand very gently, because I don't want that rider's figure to fall off. So it will be at an angle, going around the corner, something a bit like that. And I'm going to have like a billboard and that sort of thing of say somewhere like the Isle of Man or somewhere like that, possibly maybe Brands Hatch in the 60s. But yeah, this has been an absolutely incredible build, and thank you guys for following along. There shall be more builds like this one coming up with the on the channel. We update our social media very often, so pop down onto Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, that sort of thing. So guys, keep following. So we have got a few other builds coming up on the way. Also, what I do like to want to mention is that on the Saturday of, because today is Thursday, I believe. So in a few days' time, I will be back live again with Terry and the Shmoo guys back on live on the Saturday. So keep your eye out for that one. So as I said, guys, thank you so much for following this one with me. It has been an absolute dream to put together. I have really enjoyed this kit. One of my favourite bikes. I've liked this bike since I was a kid. I've seen it a few times in person. There's a few local to me. But yeah, I'll post some pictures up of the finished bike up on Facebook, Instagram, so go and check that out. I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, and keep your eyes out on the channel as we are posting content all the time. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.